Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea, the redemption of negation. We're going to see how the word no, which so often feels like an ending, can actually be a powerful, powerful beginning.
So let me just ask you this right out of the gate. Is saying no always a destructive act? When you refuse something, are you only ever tearing things down? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, well, it's way more complex than you might think.
Okay, let's really get into this. The source material we're looking at makes a really bold claim. It says there isn't just one kind of no. Nope, there are two, and they are fundamentally different. There's one kind that just consumes and erases everything, and then there's another, much more powerful one that actually creates.
And that brings us to what you could call a tale of two negations. Two totally different ways of thinking about and using the word no.
So, to make this idea feel real, our source gives us these two powerful archetypes. On one side, you've got the Stein-Feuermann, which, basically means the stone fireman, and on the other side, the lion. These two figures are the living embodiments of those two different ways of saying no.
The differences between them are just laid out so clearly here. You see, the stone fireman denies just to erase everything. It's like he's cutting threads in a blind panic. It's this toxic negativity that just consumes meaning from others, and in the end it becomes petrified, it freezes solid. But the lion is completely different. It says no to clear a space. It breaks old idols, but with careful judgment, creating a kind of 0 point, a blank slate for new meaning. This is what our source calls the sacred no.
So the crucial point, the thing you really have to get, is this. It all comes down to purpose. The stoneman's no is aimed at total annihilation of meaning. It's basically a black hole. But the lion's no, it's constructive. Its whole purpose is to clear the ground so that something new and better can be built right there in its place.
And this leads us to a really powerful metaphor from the source material, the trial in the desert. Just think of it as a critical fork in the road, a choice that, honestly, we all face in those moments of emptiness or meaninglessness.
So here's the scenario. Picture this. An initiate is placed in a desert of nihilism. It's just a vast, empty void. There's nothing there. And the test is incredibly simple. How do you react to all that nothingness? Because your response, that determines everything. It decides which path you're going to take.
The stone fireman, who is just the embodiment of that toxic negativity, he looks at this void and he declares, "Then I will burn it." His response to emptiness is to attack it, to try and annihilate the nothingness itself. It's a no that's born from pure, unfiltered rage.
But the lion's response, it's a world away. Faced with the exact same emptiness, he says, "Then I will hunt." Do you feel that shift? It's not about destroying the desert, it's about creating a purpose within it. It's active.
And that just brilliantly illustrates the core difference, doesn't it? The lion's action has direction, but it's totally free of resentment. He isn't angry at the void. He simply posits his own center of gravity, creating his own meaning from within, without stealing it or acting out of some deep bitterness.
So how exactly does this no of the lion work in the real world? This next part explores his method, breaking idols, not threats, and that distinction is absolutely crucial.
The source actually gives the lion's power a name, the sacred no, and it's defined as a refusal to let the past tyrannize the future. The key words here are so important. It's selective, it's judicial, and it's time-bound. This is not some wild, out-of-control fire. It's precise.
Yeah, this is absolutely nothing like the Stein-Feuermann's panicked severing of connections. The lion isn't just slashing away at the world hoping to hit something. No, he has a specific target and a specific method. He tests idols. He goes right up to the old, established structures that might not be worthy anymore.
So here's how that process works. First, you confront the idol, that old idea or value or system. Second, you test its resonance. You tap it. Is it still solid or is it hollow? And third, and this part is key, he allows it to shatter. See, he doesn't force the collapse, he just reveals the emptiness that was already there all along.
So this brings us to the ultimate consequence of these two paths. What's the final outcome? Where do you end up? Is it a bridge to the future, or is it just a pile of ash?
Let's look at the stone fireman's path first. After all his destructive work is done, in that dead silence that follows, he would declare victory. He'd shout that the world is meaningless, and in that exact moment of triumph, he would petrify. He'd turn to stone,
becoming a monument to his own negativity.
But the lion's declaration after his own act of destruction is profoundly different. He says, "I am not the end, I am the bridge." His no isn't the final word, it's a passageway. It's a transition to whatever comes next.
And that, right there, is the most critical difference of all. The Stein-Feuermann is trapped in a loop. He is the spirit that always denies, and he literally cannot stop. But the lion knows when the job is done. He relinquishes negation once the space has been cleared. He knows when to move on.
Which brings us to our big conclusion. The whole point behind this powerful, redeemed form of negation. It's all about a no that, as strange as it sounds, actually creates.
And here it is, the ultimate motivation driving each of them. The stone fireman says no to escape the responsibility of creating anything new. But the lion says no precisely in order to assume authorship, to take on the awesome responsibility for building whatever comes next.
I want to leave you with this incredible line from the source material that just sums it all up so perfectly. The spirit that always denies becomes a gargoyle. The spirit that denies in order to create becomes a child. One is a frozen, ugly monument to the past, and the other is the embodiment of all future potential.
So the next time you find yourself needing to refuse something, to say no to an old idea or a path someone wants you to take, just ask yourself this. Are you being the gargoyle or are you being the child? When you say no, what new space are you creating?